Kel Richards for Words Matter. We're going to get straight into it, Kel, and we've got an apt phrase to kick us off, given it's a parliamentary sitting week. Weasel words, where's that come from?
Came from America early in the 20th century, and there's a really good definition in the Oxford English Dictionary which says a weasel word is an equivocating or ambiguous word put into the middle of an utterance in order to take the strength and the meaning out of the utterance. And I'll give you a good example. When Katie Gallagher originally said, no one knew anything, and then finally admitted, I had some information, the word some is actually a weasel word because it's an equivocating, ambiguous word that's not precise, and it takes all the meaning and all the force out of the utterance. It would be a fascinating exercise to go through all of her responses in Parliament and pick out the weasel words which are equivocating and ambiguous and actually mean the utterance has got no force or meaning. But that's why we need a compound noun like this.
I can tell you that Hansard is full of weasel words. OK, tabloids. We've talked about Prince Harry's fight against the Mirror Group. Lots of our viewers want to know, why do we call them tabloids?
The word tabloid started off as a registered name belonging to a pharmaceutical company. The Borough's Wellcome Company registered the name tabloid for tablets they were producing in 1884. Little square, flat, white tablets, and they called them tabloids. So then in 1901, when the very first newspaper was produced about half the size of a broadsheet, it was small and it was flat. And so as a joke, it was named after the little tablets. It was called a tabloid. So it started off as a registered chemical name. And interestingly, the same thing happened to computers. When the iPads came out, they were called tablet computers for exactly the same reason. That's where the word tabloid and tablet come from.
Well, here's a few I use a bit. Basket case. Tiffy is a viewer and she wants to know where that one comes from. Basket case. When
things are going really badly, we say it's a basket case. And I've got to warn you, Peter, that there's a horrible image behind this because it comes from the First World War, from American troops. It's American slang, fighting in France in the trenches. When one of their colleagues lost all 4 limbs, they called him a basket case because the only way he could be moved around was in a basket. I warned you, it's a horrible image, isn't it? But that's where it comes from.
I won't use that one again.
No, I don't think so.
I won't use that one again. What about hell in a handbasket or hell in a handcart, I say? When things are going pretty crook, we say that. What's it mean?
Well, it comes from the French Revolution because the French aristocrats, it's another horrible image, French aristocrats who had their heads chopped off on the guillotine, the heads were caught in a basket. And the variation on it, hell in a handcart, comes from the fact that they were taken there in a timbrel, which is a farm cart or handcart. So, yes. I'm sorry, lots of horrible images tonight.
Gee, well, let's finish with a good one. The good oil. Doug from Yamundi wants to know, give us the good oil. Where's that one come from?
1915, Australian troops, it's Anzac slang, and it was really hard to get supplies of anything on the Western Front. So when someone had correct information, they had the good oil because good oil in the early days of machinery was very rare.
Goodness me. All right. Well, that at least was a more temperate note from where we started. Kel Richards, thank you. We'll see you next week.